All right, guys, so the average person sleeps 2,920 hours a year. That's 33% of your life in a 12-month span. So the mattress that you decide to sleep on might be one of the most important purchases you can make. So guys, after over 1,607 sleeps, which is a little bit over 4 years, and multiple dog jumps on it over those years, we're going to talk about, one, why we purchased this mattress to begin with, how the durability has been over the years, what our overall experience has been, including one service call, and whether or not you should buy this or not. And then I'm going to tell you exactly how to save a lot of money on these beds if you want to buy one yourselves, because there is a trick to it that will save you a lot of cash. So let's get at it. So guys, this is the ILE bed from Sleep Number, which stands for limited edition, which is going to become very important towards the end when I start talking about pricing and when you actually need to buy one of these to save a lot of money. It does feature 6 inches of comfort layers. It has an overall height of 12 inches and has 4 times the amount of ceramic gel to help with heat dissipation during the night. So if you look on their website right now, it's something that you would call really comparable to the i8. So guys, why did we buy a Sleep Number bed to begin with? First off, we require different firmness settings here in the house. My wife likes it a little bit softer sometimes when I need it a little bit firmer. I have also been unfortunate in the fact that I've had back issues, but also multiple surgeries over the past 4 years that really make it so adjusting the bed itself can really affect my quality of sleep throughout the night. So when it came to the Sleep Number bed, it was one of the few that we could actually dial in each side independently of each other and actually have a comfortable sleep at night no matter what we had going on in our lives or our personal preferences. So first off, let's talk about the overall durability of the bed over the past 4 years. Like I mentioned, we have 3 boxers, so they like to jump up on the bed and sleep with us from time to time. And it's not exactly good for mattress to have a 60-pound dog jumping on the bed all the time. We found over time that the bed feels very similar to the day it was brought home. So that says the durability of this bed is pretty good. As you know, sometimes mattresses can get softer over time or just not be as comfortable, feel a little bit lumpy. Because this is 2 different air sacs that actually have different pressures in them, you can adjust that firmness on the fly, which means this bed feels a lot like it did 4 years ago. So we haven't seen any drop off on comfort and firmness on this bed itself. And while we're talking about the fact that these are 2 bladders that actually fill up with air and then have that comfort layer over them, we did have one tech appointment that we had to have customer support come out and fix. We were running into this problem where the bed would not really fill up all the way on my side. You could actually look at it and you could see this huge divot in it because it was just losing air. Well, the techs came out really quickly once we called support. They were really friendly, did a great job. It was just a loose hose at the pump, and it made it so that that problem was fixed very quickly by their support staff. Now, you might have remembered in a previous video when we first got this bed that I said that the pump was a little bit loud for my liking. So if you had it on the automatic setting at night, it might wake you up every now and then. When they fixed that problem through that tech support visit, it actually got rid of a lot of that noise, so we don't have that same issue that we did in the past. And then the second thing that we really love about this bed itself is that we did get the adjustable base with the bed. So when I've been having the leg surgeries or been having back issues, I'm actually able to change the height of the bed in the back and the front to accommodate my needs at the time to get a little bit more comfortable. It's something that we really needed with this bed itself. You can get it with other beds as well, but just knowing that we have that adjustability when I need it has been a huge plus for us as a family. Then there's also the ability to actually control this bed through the included remote or the phone itself. We typically use the phone the most out of anything. The remote kind of stays in the drawer and never comes out unless we have someone coming to watch the dogs that sleeps in the bed so they could sleep here in their own beds. But it is nice to be able to adjust that on both of our phones and the remote so that you could do it on the fly while you're laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep. And then within that app itself, you do have other functions like sleep tracking and other things that you can actually use more of those smart functions with the bed. So if you're into that kind of tracking, it is available within their Sleep IQ app, and it's there for you to see when you wake up in the morning. And then one of the other cool features that we actually use with the bed is that the base actually has an integrated light into it that is motion detecting. So when you step off the bed, the light does come on in the middle of the night. So if I wake up in the middle of the night to have to use the restroom, let out the dogs or anything else at like 2 a.m., I could step out of the bed and actually see what's on the floor and not trip over anything that might be in the room without waking up my wife because it is dimly lit just around the base of the bed. And then as I mentioned, there is 4 times the amount of ceramic gel in this model to help with heat dissipation. I don't know about you guys, but when I start to go to sleep, I turn into an oven. My wife actually laughs at me every now and then because it's like the heat just starts dissipating over towards her. So it is nice to have a bed that's easier cooling on my body. This bed has been a lot better with that than say like some of the memory foam mattresses we had in the past. So I don't find myself looking like such an oven in the middle of the night with this bed as I had with previous setups. So guys, obviously that's what we've liked about the Sleep Number bed over the past 4 years, but do we see any cons that we've seen over time? First off, like I mentioned before, this is a tube ladder setup, so if you have wildly different pressures on either side, you do feel where that line is. You can almost feel like you're sinking into the other side of the person that has the lot softer setting. It really isn't that big a deal if you're within 5 to 10 psi of each other, but if you're going to be wildly different, just be aware that you're going to want to try to stay to your side because it can feel a little bit uneven once you start creeping towards the center. The other thing is we don't really use the app and everything as much as we did in the beginning. Now it's more of a set and forget unless I have to change something based on my body, whether it's not feeling well at the time. So while there's a lot of cool features and having an app and all that sleep tracking, I don't use it all that often anymore just because we're more just set and forget on our setting. And also I find the sleep tracking with the app to be wildly inaccurate in comparison to like our watches and other devices. So we choose to use our watches for sleep tracking and not the Sleep IQ app. And it isn't open nearly as much as it used to be. So it's really just to change the height of the base or the pressure if I'm not feeling well that day. Otherwise, it just acts as a normal mattress when you're on your setting, ready to go to bed. So really when it comes down to it, who is a Sleep Number bed really for? First off is the obvious one. It's for couples that need different firmness settings depending on what their preference is. If you are two people that like two different kinds of beds, it's really easy to get one of these beds and then have the best of both worlds. You can each have each firmness setting that you want without the other one being uncomfortable. And then number two, if you're someone like me that's had a lot of surgeries and injuries and you have days that are bad where you really need to be able to adjust that firmness setting to get a lot more comfortable because you're uncomfortable to begin with, this is a great bed to have because you can adjust that on the fly and make your body a little bit more comfortable. There are nights where I really want it a lot softer and almost like a pillow-like feeling to get rid of any pressure points. And then there's other nights where I want it firmer so that I get more support. I'm able to do that on the fly depending on how my body's feeling. Now, if you're a single person with a single preference, there's really no reason to get a bed like this. You don't need to adjust it and you're not worried about anyone else not being comfortable. So this really is for couples that want different firmness settings, or you have a unique situation like I do where you actually need that adjustability to be able to be comfortable because of outlying factors. And then we come to pricing. Obviously, these beds are not cheap. And if you look on the website right now, this bed says for a retail of $5,500, but that's not true. The reason they call this the ILE bed is because it is the limited edition bed. What limited edition means is that it goes on a drastic sale almost every single holiday weekend. So when it comes to Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, this bed will go to almost half off, making it cheaper than the i8 bed that you look at on the website right now. And that is the key to buying a Sleep Number bed. Do not buy one of these beds outside of a holiday weekend. You will get to a holiday weekend sale and you will realize that you spent hundreds of dollars more than you had to for maybe a lesser bed or one of equal quality. So guys, I want to hear what you think down in the comment section below. Is this a bed that you have and have used? What do you think about it? What has been your experience? Is it something that you need to look at purchasing and have additional questions? Hit up those comments. I'll answer as many as I can. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to Rob Sutton for more reviews like this in the future. And until then, on to the next one. Thanks guys, see ya.